Hey everyone, Sumo Spiffy here. Welcome to our Day 2 preview for Natsu 2023, this one for the match between Ichiyamamoto and Oho. They're tied 4-4 lifetime and have alternated wins in the 4 bouts we'll watch today, so let's see why they seem to be so evenly matched. The first fight we'll watch is from March 2022. Now, if you've watched Ichiyamamoto almost at all, you know his tachiai is to go straight for the upper chest and neck basically every time. Here he comes in head first, gets a little lower than Oho, and their headbutt is louder than the gyoji. Because he gets the lower position though, and Oho is too upright, Ichi drives him back immediately. This might have been a good position for a belt grab if he was that type of wrestler, but he's a pusher, so he pushes. Unfortunately for him, Oho does a great job stopping him with a left-hand shove of his own. Because Ichi's style is so dependent on driving forward, at least at the start, having his momentum stopped means when he reaches his left hand out for Oho's face, it almost entirely whiffs. This staggers him. He has to step forward with his left foot to maintain balance even though Oho hasn't actively done anything to him in that moment. From here, he doesn't have much of an option but to keep his head down and drive forward. If it catches his opponent off guard, it can work, but as you can see, Oho's hand is already over Ichi's head, starting the push-down attack. Oho circles away from Ichi's rear leg, the one that has to catch up, and Ichi has no chance to stay on his feet. Their next match, the following May, is an Ichiyamamoto special. They start with another head crack, which, ow, but even though Oho comes in lower and doesn't give away the leverage as easily, Ichi's still able to drive Oho up by the neck. This is how he's able to maintain a spot in the top division working with effectively one style. He has it so perfected that someone who doesn't defend it correctly will still be vulnerable to his precision within that style and his ability to make small adjustments when necessary. From here, he essentially grabs Oho around the jaw and yanks down. It works, and Oho goes splat. Yesterday I talked about how Aoyama and Kotoeko were able to develop tactics against each other's styles. In this case, I have no idea if Ichi tried to bait Oho in a similar way. This is just something Ichi does here and there. It doesn't always work, but it did this time. They didn't fight in Nagoya, meeting again in September. Oho's tachiai is a little different this time. He starts with his hands even lower and turns his head slightly, absorbing the contact on his shoulder rather than striking forehead to forehead. Much like in their first match, he gets a solid left-handed push-off, which prevents Ichi's left hand from making good contact, and again Ichi ends up leaning forward into a well-set Oho. Oho's weight is leaning forward enough that he could be vulnerable to a pull-down, but Ichi's too committed to his own forward momentum to take advantage. After that, Oho's hands are inside, and since Ichi can't do anything but desperately swipe at him, Oho lands a clean Oshidashi win. Even though the 2 wins of Oho's that we've seen started a little differently and ended with much different winning techniques, they were effectively enabled by the same thing, withstanding Ichi's initial attack and striking back with enough power to thwart his drive forward. It's not the only way to beat him, but it's how Oho did it in these fights. One more, this one from November. Oho tries the reserved approach again, arms low, avoiding the head-to-head contact, but this time Ichi adjusts to Oho's adjustment from the previous basho. He doesn't let his head get as far in and drives more quickly with his arms. This stands Oho up and lets Ichi drive inside without the same pushback as last time. Oho defends reasonably, getting his left arm inside, but Ichi's left hand also strikes cleanly. Since Ichi has the momentum this time, Oho is forced back, and now the only defense he has left is to swat at Ichi's arms. He's able to circle the ring for a moment, but Ichi has no trouble keeping up and forcing him out. It's hard to say what to expect this time. One of the frustrating things about Oho is that, even though he's shown more tools than a guy like Ichiyamamoto, he can't beat Ichi consistently. This shouldn't be a coin flip matchup, but it is, and probably will be for the foreseeable future. I hope that, if nothing else, this review has shown the knife's edge guys walk when they rely on a pushing thrusting game, and how good someone like Abi must be to succeed at a high level using almost exclusively that type of strategy. Okay, that's it for our Day 2 preview. Like it if you learned something, and I'll see you tomorrow.